Okay, so this will be my first official book review of 2026. I technically started reading this book in 2024. I think it was towards the end of 2024, but I like read the first few chapters, put the book down, and then I didn't pick it up again until 2025. And throughout the year, I've spent months like getting through chapters in the book and not actually just finishing it. I actually just finished it yesterday, which was the first of 2026. And in doing that, I realized like one, I need a goal that I've had for the past couple of years is to read more. I did better in 2024. 2025, I just kind of completely fell off. Um, and I was also thinking about the ways in which I engage in media that I'm consuming. So in 2024, I read maybe like 4 or 5 books that year. And the only one I can really remember for sure is They Were Her Property, and it's just because it was like historical text and it was a lot. Like it was a really good book. I definitely recommend it, but I think because of the like abhorrent things I was reading in that book, that's why it kind of stuck with me. So in engaging in the media that I'm consuming, whether that be books, graphic novels, articles I read online, the CDs I listen to when they come out, movies, TV, whatever. I want to engage with that media a little more deeply, I guess, and kind of expound on why I enjoyed it, things maybe I didn't enjoy as much, or what I would change if I was to. So just like spending a little bit more time with the things that I'm consuming and also being more mindful of what I'm consuming and how I'm spending my time. So that's, I guess, the second reason why I wanted to start doing the book reviews. Um, the third thing will be, as you can see, I've said and like probably 10,000 times already. I want to be more confident in my public speaking, and just getting comfortable doing that a bit more. And I went through a series of interviews for a job last year that I did not get. I don't think it was because of my interviews, but something I noticed myself, just like kind of hearing myself answer the questions back and things, was I didn't feel confident when I was speaking. I can like hear it in my voice, all the filler words and stuff. So um, something like a personal goal that I have for myself to work on is just being more comfortable speaking out loud and in public, and kind of expanding my vocabulary too. I feel like I was not like speaking in layman terms, but I was like, everybody in the interview was like, I don't want to say big words, but they were using big words, and my answers were kind of like, they could have been better. So that's kind of like why I'm starting this process. I'm hoping that from January 2nd, now that I'm recording this, to the end of the year, I'll be consistent. I guess that's my fourth thing too, to find something to be consistent with it. I'm trying to build better habits so I can build the life that I've been dreaming of. So sticking to something, making a goal or a plan, and like really seeing it through. And then I guess another thing I want to do, I kind of started learning video editing through iMovie. I've done a few projects with it, but I definitely would like to expand on that and kind of maybe add another skill set for myself. So eventually, I hope that these book reviews can be a little bit more formal, maybe look a little better. I learned how to do some transitions and things. Just like I said, another skill to have, some personal development, I guess. Um, and then also because this is my first one, I don't really have, I guess, like a template that I'm going off of in my book review. So hopefully, as the year goes on, I put a little bit more time and thought into how I'm reviewing the books, the questions I'm asking, or what I want to talk about when I'm reviewing whatever I'm reviewing. Because I don't think it'll be just books. Like, it's definitely a goal of mine for the year to read more books, but just all the media I consume throughout the year. So I guess working on a template to review the books will be helpful. But with all that being said, my first book review is First Things First, Hip Hop Ladies Who Changed the Game. I think the author's name is Nadirah Simmons. I first came across this book and the author on Twitter when it was Twitter a few years ago. She has a website, a brand, I'm not really sure the exact terminology for it, but it's called The Gumbo. I think she had posted like an old interview from someone. That was the first time it kind of came across my For You page, and I clicked on it and I was like, oh, this uh, aligns with who I am and what I enjoy. So I followed her, and then I think she announced her book maybe a little while after that, and I pre-ordered it and I ended up buying it. So, and although it did technically take me 3 years to finish this book, I really did enjoy it. It's not a slow read. I'm getting my attention span back in order. So I did write down a few things because I didn't want my first review. Like, I knew it wasn't gonna be as put together for the first one, but I didn't want it to just be all over the place either. Although I think it is going to be, so I'm probably not going to watch this back. I'll probably just upload it to my YouTube channel right away. Um, so I guess the first things I just wrote down: the title, the author, the genre is nonfiction, obviously. What did you like the most? One of the things that I think kept me coming back to this book, even though I kept putting it down, but it was because of other like life things, was reading it felt like having a conversation with someone, like a friend. Specifically in the Little Kim chapter, she does like a text thread. Is something that they use on the Gumbo too, where they do like digital interviews through text message. So in the Little Kim chapter, she's explaining why Little Kim is like the blueprint or the queen bee, which she is. And she did it in a text thread, and it was like, I think throughout the book, it just kind of felt like I was, because I read out loud, so it felt like I was having a conversation with a friend, reading and then learning as much as I did through the book. So I definitely enjoyed that. What else? History. I am a bit of a history nerd. That was my favorite subject in school, so I love to learn about the past, especially, and something that I'm interested in music in general, but hip hop obviously, and kind of learning about the foremothers of hip hop. I guess in theory, I like knew women were a part of. Obviously, I knew women were a part of hip hop, but I just kind of assumed or figured they were there at the start too. But I guess I didn't know the I guess the size of the role they played in like the foundation of hip hop. So that was very like interesting to learn about. I definitely enjoyed that. Cindy Campbell's Back to School Jam was kind of like the party that created hip hop. Um, Reading about Heather B, she has a chapter in the book. I used to watch Sway in the Morning interviews, and Heather B is obviously a co-host on his show, but I wasn't familiar with her as a rapper. So that was interesting to like go back on YouTube and watch some of her music. It was actually, I can't remember the name of the song. It was probably like maybe one of her bigger hits. But in the video, her outfit was fire, and I was trying to find the shirt that she had. It was like a motorcycle shirt or whatever. I was trying to find it on Pinterest and I couldn't, but that was really exciting. I enjoyed that. What else? My notes. This is my brand new journal for the year, and I already started writing like chicken scratch. Um, I like that she included like all the elements of hip hop. Obviously, there's rappers, and I think she included a good amount of rappers, even when women didn't have like a chapter dedicated to themselves. She included like other women, so I enjoyed that. But with including like fashion and TV and film and radio, especially, I really liked that. I thought that was a good way to like tie everything together. Um, I guess maybe my favorite section was the fashion section. I love clothes, so um, reading about and kind of learning more about women that I've heard about throughout the years and maybe knew a little bit of their story, like kind of her going into death with Misa Hilton and June Ambrose. That was really like interesting, so I enjoyed that section for sure. Um, April Walker of Walkerware. I think I had maybe heard of her in the past, but I wasn't super familiar. So learning her story and like her rise with her brand, and like that was really impressive. I enjoyed that as well. I like that she mentioned Gangsta Boo. I don't know, maybe because of my age, she's not somebody that I hear mentioned a lot. When I hear female rappers or any rappers, like newer rappers coming up, like mention that much, so for her to be included, like I said, she did a really good job of like including a lot of women. Like, and I think in some of the, do I remember the chapter? I don't think I wrote it down, but there's like a chapter in the book where she's including a lot of like some of the early rappers, female rappers, like predating Salt and Pepper and MC Light. Like that was really enjoyable to learn about, because you just don't hear about those women, unfortunately. So her including that, I thought it was really cool, and I wish I would have wrote that down, but I did not. My favorite chapter or quotes, I wrote down chapter 18, which is Little Kim, chapter 22, which is Missy Elliott, and kind of focuses on Afrofuturism and the role that played in her music and her videos, especially. I really enjoyed that. I watched a documentary on Afrofuturism not too long ago. It was really good. It was on Hulu. I don't remember the name of it. And this is, again, why I'm doing this, because I'm like consuming this media and it's like staying in my mind for 2.5 seconds. But that was really good. I really enjoyed that chapter. And then chapter 33 on Lauryn Hill, obviously, I think she's probably definitely in my like top 5 artists of all time. So whenever I have the chance to like kind of learn more about her, and I think she's really misunderstood. But I think that chapter was about her winning like the most Grammys for her debut album, and then obviously winning album of the year. That's unheard of. Um, oh, a template I found offline had a good one. It said to describe the book in one sentence, and I said it's an informative deep dive on women in hip hop. How did the book change your opinion or perspective? And I wrote down, I didn't realize how much of a role women played in the foundation of hip hop, how their contributions shaped the current landscape. And it inspired me to do a deeper dive into lesser known women in hip hop. I did write down a little bit. So Millie Jackson, I think she wrote, she's the godmother of hip hop in here. MC Trouble One, that was in chapter 8. Okay, so maybe I did write that down. In chapter 8, she mentioned like some female rappers I had never heard of before, and I was like, oh, okay. And something also that I enjoy in the book is when she would kind of mention something that was maybe a little lesser known or maybe not as widespread, she would like put in the book, like take time to go check these things out. So I found myself doing that a lot too, which is also kind of played a role in why it took me so long to finish the book, because I would kind of go down the rabbit hole and I would stop to look something up, or like if she mentioned an interview for an artist or video or something like that, I would take time to go and watch those things, and then I would fall down a rabbit hole and kind of not come back to the book. So but I enjoyed that as well. I would rate this, in the spirit of hip hop, of 5 mics. It was really good. I think it's like a little over 300 pages. It's not a long read. It took me a long time, but that's why I am here now, trying to correct that. I'm trying to get back on the bandwagon of reading. So I would definitely recommend this. 5 mics out of 5 mics. It was a really good book, very informative. I learned a lot. Moving forward with the reviews, I think I will keep notes as I'm reading. I think that will probably help this be a little bit more, just a little more meat and potatoes, more for me to talk about. The next thing I'm going to be reviewing, I read Bitterroot. It's a graphic novel last year. And like, I guess this will be considered the second book in this series. It's called The Next Movement, came out this year. I just recently got all 5 copies, so I'm going to be rereading the first one, because I did buy this when it originally released, and then I signed up at the comic book store that I went to like, they would notify me when the new books came in, and I never got anything from them. And I think just because of like work and stuff, I didn't make a deal of like going back up there to ask them like what happened, but so all the books are out now, so I have all of them and I can just read them without waiting. So I guess that is helpful. But yes, this is my first book review. I can't wait to, well, I can't wait, but I'm excited to get to the end of the year and watch these back and kind of see the progress and how I have grown. Not only am I speaking and being comfortable speaking on camera, but uploading. Hopefully, I am also working on my iMovie tutorial skills so I can edit these and kind of make them a bit better. But this is going to be the conclusion of my first review, and hopefully, we have many, many more to come. And I am excited for you, Bridget. Good job.